My name is Joe Sherping. This is Thanksgiving Day 2003, and I am interviewing my grandma Erna about her life history. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 9 sisters and 5 brothers.
Did you have to share a bedroom?
I said we slept 3 in a bed, so we did share a bedroom. It was really warm in winter when you'd sleep 3 in a bed.
What kind of toys or games did you play with when you were a kid?
We played a lot of Monopoly, we played cards. The girls would have paper dolls, but we didn't buy our paper dolls, we cut them out of a catalog. And the dolls and the dresses. But we played a lot of Monopoly, that was the main game.
Are sports different today than when you were a kid?
Yeah, when I was in school, we only played like ball at recess. And then you really didn't get into sports until you got into high school. So.
Would you rather have grown up today?
No, I don't think so. I think we didn't have computers, but I think we had more freedom to run and ride your bikes and play out after dark. You always waited till dark to play kick the can. And I just think we had more freedom because it's too many people out there now, you're not safe.
How much did things cost back when you were a kid?
I really don't remember, but really what a lot of things cost, but I remember going to the store and getting 3 rings of bologna for $1. And gas was probably 29 cents a gallon. That's about all I remember with the cost.
What was church like compared to today?
Well, for one thing, when I was younger, when we went to church, the men sat on the right-hand side and the women sat on the left. They never sat together. And the kids sat in the front. The children sat in the front with their class. And then later on, they changed it where they could sit together, the men and the women, but then the women didn't want to sit on the men's side and the men didn't want to sit on the women's. But eventually, they sat together. And they had, like, at Mass, they had maybe 4 or 6 servers for every Mass. And then if you served Mass, you served Mass all the way through high school. You didn't quit when you got to like 8th grade. You just kept right on serving Mass. And everything was in Latin, too.
What jobs did your mom and dad have?
My mom was a homemaker. She worked at home. And my dad was a salesman for Minneapolis Moline Machinery.
What was an important historical event that happened when you were young?
Well, the only really historical event I can remember is when I was a kid, I was playing at the school playground, and a lady came to pick up her kids, and she said the war was over. And that was the Second World War. That's really the only thing I remember.
How did it affect your family?
Well, during the war, you had to have rations, ration coupons, like for gas and sugar and shoes, anything leather. Because I remember my mom had to be careful how much she could bake because she only got so much sugar with her. She only had so many coupons for her. And after the war, then you didn't have to use your rations anymore.
What was the most important invention that occurred during your life?
The biggest change, I suppose, when maybe television. Well, my family never had television until after I was married, but I used to babysit with a family that had television, but it wasn't very clear. It was real snowy. You could hardly see it. But I think that was about the biggest change.
How did you meet your husband?
He went to college near where I lived, and his parents and my parents were friends, so he would come over to our house. Is that it?
Bye.